Well, here we are, guys. Another reaction video to something Nostalgia Critic, and it's something else Christmassy. Because this one DreamWorks animated feature film that Doug Walker, as the Nostalgia Critic, covering slash reviewing, technically is Christmassy. Well, despite the fact that not only do we have Santa, but other legendary holiday figures. You get the point. So that's right. The Nostalgia Critic reviewing another DreamWorks film, and that being Rise of the Guardians. And I think it's obvious, Rise of the Guardians being one of those DreamWorks animated films that are underrated, and well, because when this film came out, it had its time for a while, as with any film, some of them having their time, and sometimes some of them would become underrated films and such, but at the same time, they would get some appreciation and stuff like that, especially some animated films like this, or even like, say, Atlantis, The Lost Empire, need I go on, having a lot of, appreciation and cult followings, you know what I mean? So, so I'm sure as though that, Doug, as the Nostalgia Critic, he'll probably have some positive things to say on Rise of the Guardians. For me personally, and by the way, I've done a review on Rise of the Guardians, if you want to go check that out. Rise of the Guardians, because it is in my top favorite DreamWorks films. I think what Rise of the Guardians has to offer, and not to mention this is based off of a book from the one and only William Joyce. Other works of his that we would best know him from, well, and because he's written other books, like another, book that he's written that became an animated feature film straight from Disney, Meet the Robinsons. And technically Disney also did this. Roly Poly Oly, that being another creation of William Joyce's. Especially since he has an interesting style and look to some robots. Like what he brought to the robot characters in Roly Poly Oly, Carl the Robot in Meet the Robinsons, and also designing, being a designer for the characters in 20th Century Fox and Blue Sky's animated feature film Robots. Well, this time, because William Joyce, this time working alongside with DreamWorks, and DreamWorks being the ones that, adapting another one of his books, and that, of course, being Rise of the Guardians. And especially, if I remember correctly, Rise of the Guardians being written specifically, like, say, in honor of William Joyce's late daughter. It's sad that, with the passing of his daughter and such, if you know this, and that this movie is in dedication to her. That's very sweet. Well, because William Joyce's daughter having some heavy influence on Rise of the Guardians. So, Anyways, and by the way, there have been a couple of other times that Doug, as the Nostalgia Critic, has talked about and mentioned Rise of the Guardians. If I remember correctly, I think so, because, Rise of the Guardians did come out the same year as DreamWorks' other animated feature film, not Penguins, just Madagascar. Madagascar, Europea's Most Wanted, that one. I don't know, because I'll have to check and see. I think I will after reacting to this, because, as I recall, maybe possibly Doug did cover and review Rise of the Guardians for DreamWorks Hueri, if anybody remembers that. That was pretty nice. And this was right after, he had done Disney-cember, and according to him, people have been asking him, do the DreamWorks movies, and thus, DreamWorks Hueri was born. But again, I'm gonna have to check again. And if you want to, feel free to let me know in the comment section, but it's in the reaction video. I'll make sure to remember to check, so but it's going to be after, okay? Because I already got the video set up, and so on, But overall, I'm sure as though that for Doug, he will have some positive things to say on Rise of the Guardians and from there on. So yeah, without further ado, enough said, let's see what Doug, as the Nostalgia Critic, has to say on Rise of the Guardians. Beginning in 3, 2, 1, go.
This episode brought to you by Stamps.com. Why go to the store to get stamps when you can have them printed right at home for your convenience?
Just adjusting my shirt and... Whew, alright.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy, remember? So you don't have to. We've seen movies that combine Christmas and Halloween, but what about movies that combine Christmas and Easter? And sleeping, and teeth falling out, and kind of Christmas again? Yeah, this is a month of sort of Christmas movies. Rise of the Guardians came out in 2012. It wasn't exactly a big hit, but it did manage to get a little bit of a following. It was a unique idea from DreamWorks.
Yeah, I was right.
Children's characters you never see, all teaming up to defeat a great evil. And for all the badass Santa movies we've been getting recently, you can technically argue this is one of the earliest, but not the first. We all know what that is. And we'll admit, though, it's kind of half and half.
Hulk Hogan?
Oh. There's a lot I like, but there's a lot of things that felt disjointed and a little rushed. But then I saw the director went on to become a director for one of the most influential animated films of the past decade, so... Yeah, I kind of want to look at this again. It could be exactly how I remember it, but anyone that made something this good, I really want to revisit their past work. So, with me over this Christmas season, or will it get lost in the fog of other not-your-ordinary Santa movies? Well, let's ride on in. Let's take a look at the animated version of the one good scene from Santa Claus 3. Oh, right. Couldn't even do that right. Let's take a look at Rise of the Guardians.
Yeah, because it was in the first sequel.
It opens literally pretty dark.
Darkness. That's the first thing I remember. It was dark.
It does open dark.
And I was scared.
Every parent saying, isn't this the Hugh Jackman Easter Bunny movie?
Yes.
We accidentally walked into the theater showing Woman in Black.
Then I saw it. And when it did, I wasn't scared anymore.
This is Jack Frost, played by the worst joke ever made in any Disney live-action remake. Chris Pratt. Good people don't allow this joke to finish, as he recalls his earliest memories, what few he has.
Why I was there and what I was meant to
I wonder what Chris Pine really felt on that
Destiny
joke
was to
on
test
him.
shitty snow scrapers for all of eternity.
Hey, excuse me, can you tell me where I am?
He quickly discovers nobody can see or hear him, similar to his recent box office numbers. And we cut a mere 300 years later to where we see Santa, played by Alec Baldwin, is actually a tough guy.
Bingo.
Give Chris Pine some slack, just, you know, give him a grip.
Company.
Okay, let's get out of the way. Yes, there's a lot of Russ jokes that can be made. This one's my personal favorite. But just judging him as an actor, Alec Baldwin's a little hit or miss for me. Some roles I love, like Beetlejuice or Hunt for Red October. No, there's a pretty lame, like The Shadow or Thomas the Tank Engine.
Oh,
here,
no.
Really works.
He was the first narrator I grew up
I can't even
with.
recognize him. All I see is this character.
I love being
His narration in Thomas, fantastic.
Good. That was my idea. We will collect the thief. I feel it. In my belly.
He was good.
He's easily my favorite dude in the movie. He's like the Polar Express Santa if he was the gymnastics teacher from Simpsons.
And Alec Baldwin, he nails at the Russian accent for Santa.
He sees the boogeyman, played by Jude Law, has snuck into his workshop, so he calls out to his friends using the Northern Lights. The Tooth Fairy, played by Isla Fisher, who if Santa's my favorite character, this is my favorite character design. The Sandman, played by a perfect even mix of Dr. Honeydew and Beaker. And the Easter Bunny, played by Hugh Jackman. What's up, Dick?
Thank you for coming.
What's up,
Santa tells
Dick?
him about his encounter with a villain named Pitch Black, and that it could spell big trouble for the world. But the silent boss, the Man in the Moon, who to get the best performance, insisted on actually being in the moon. That would have saved some annoyance. Indicates he's choosing a new guardian to help out.
Jack Frost.
Well, as long as he helps to protect the children, right?
I don't even have private parts, but I will just for him. Jack,
Yeah, I almost forgot. Yeah, she...
I was frozen.
you know the bit. And you're either
Tooth Fairy
really gonna
has,
get into this character design,
you know,
or you're
the
not.
hots for Jack
I
Frost.
don't. I mean, let's call it. He's designed for younger people to make fanfics and slash art of, and that's exactly what happened. There are way too many Google pages of him and Elsa.
Yes, I was literally going to mention that.
Everyone else looks odd, but unique. They
A lot of
have
people
timeless
shipping
feel
them.
to Jack looks like refrigerated Mr. Robot. You can make him a heartthrob, just do
And to
something
think
a
this
little
movie
less
came out just a
2012.
year before Frozen.
He also has the power to turn angry Grooves and Drag into happy Doofies and Drag. Yeah, some of these scenes are a little weirdly done.
Well, I mean, clearly she's a girl, right? So...
Don't worry, King. I got you. Hold on.
This escalated fast. Yeah, I'm starting to remember the big issue I had with this film. Everything moves just a little too quickly. When Spider-Verse threw a lot at you, there was still a ton of investment. This goes from a random kid playing to hitting a bully to the bully playing to somehow sledding through traffic with a couch in just 10 seconds. This is laid out.
And the bully's
almost
heart being
as if for a
changed,
kid
you know.
character I've just been introduced to.
Right on time, Sandman.
The magic of the snowball changed
Honestly,
her.
The boogeyman appears to turn their dreams into nightmares.
You must have known this day would come. My nightmares are finally ready. Are your guardians?
The rise of Hammerhead Hades will begin.
Been a long time. Easter Sunday, wasn't it?
The Easter Bunny approaches Jack and kidnaps him, dropping him off at Santa's.
You know Barney, obviously. Sandman? Sandy? Sandy? Wake up!
Wake up,
That was
Sandy.
a great impression of the last year and a half for me. They tell Jack he's going to be a guardian, but you know the drill. He doesn't want to be one.
What makes you think I want to be a guardian? Of course you do. Music! No music!
I should have applied for a minion.
What minion?
Yeah, I was gonna
Just
mention
elect
that
the kids of
too.
the world, but they also protect them. As Santa
The elves
tries to
kind of
convince
being
Jack to
minion
join for an
wannabes, don't you
actually
think?
decent speech explaining there's more to him than he lets on.
I was born with eyes that have only seen the wonder and what I protect in children.
Just don't ask me to explain things to children in voicemail. I'm not very good at that.
I don't give a damn that you're a child. You are a rude.
He did that joke in his review of the Magic
So they
Railroad.
make their way there.
To its palace.
I will say the world building in this film is pretty fun. There's a lot of nice little touches, like these snow globes or portals. The bunny can burrow through anywhere, teleporting him anywhere. The Tooth Fairy's teeth holding the memories of childhood. The Northern Lights being how they contact the other guardians. Even the nightmares capture people by eating them and holding them captive in their bellies.
Yeah.
Despite it being so sporadic,
Very
it's all
creative.
creative environments I want to know more about.
Maybe
Yeah.
I want what
Makes
you
you want to wonder so much more.
believed in.
The boogeyman steals most of the fairies and their collected teeth to make kids believe they aren't real. And the more he makes kids not believe, the more powerful he becomes.
It's your turn not to be believed in.
They try to stop him, but he gets away. Then Jack puts together if teeth carry memories, maybe he can remember his own past by getting them back. They decide to band together and continue the Tooth Fairy's job, and maybe the best scene in the movie where they race each other for who can get the most teeth.
That a challenge, Cottontail? Oh, you don't want to race around.
And they kind of...
Moments like this are really creative, but also naturally get across a lot of character.
They kind of take it a bit over the top where they leave eggs and presents.
Oh, also, this movie's surprisingly educational.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. He's one of us. Part of the European division.
In my house, I was told it was my neighbor Charlie. Still not allowed to talk to him.
I knew there wasn't going to be enough
This was always the
time
part I
to
liked
read that,
most.
but I will go back and read
Seeing the
it.
kids.
I just like to watch you guys.
Oh my god.
You taken care of. And it's
You had
bitch's
to,
turn.
Doug.
Wait, what'd he say?
And it's bitch's turn.
There's a very adult subplot going on here.
Did he really say that? Bitch's
He's
turn?
still awake.
Sandy, knock him out.
A very adult subplot. No, he uses his magic dust, but the boogeyman finds him and uses his nightmare arrow to do something with Black Oozy stuff. Black Oozy stuff is always bad in kids' films. Oh, I guess he killed him.
That was like a holy shit moment there. Pardon my French.
You ought to be proud.
But thankfully, later on.
Okay, first off, it wasn't made super clear what happened, but alright, we can figure it out enough. Second, you're acting like this is the death of Mufasa, and it's kind of like the death of Lurch. I like him fine, sucks that he's gone, but I think I can move past it. I've already moved past it.
And rest in peace, Ted
Be on the
Cassidy.
lookout for this man. Do not believe the rumors said about him.
One of the
He breaks
best
into people's
lurches
homes and
ever,
gives
don't you
gifts,
think?
But not to the people whose homes he breaks into.
Okay.
He breaks it.
Time out, because, yeah, commercial break. And Santa Claus is typing. What footage is that from, anyways? Okay. Okay, so yeah, again, timeout, because with what Doug has talked about so far, and yeah, we're up to 11 minutes and 26 seconds, and there's 9 minutes and 58 seconds left. So yeah. Okay, so again, what so far Doug, as the nostalgia critic, has had to say about the film? Yeah, well, so far he's had some positive things to say, and has made some good points, even for me, as I try my best, like, try to not to overtalk Doug and such. But, yeah. Well, I mean, the Renegades, I mean, at least for them, I've mentioned the Renegades react before. At least, they pause and they talk and such with what, like, most notably Nate has to say, but yeah. But I don't do that. But anyways, only, like, say, with this, the sponsor. Yeah, that's when I pause it and I talk, and which I'm doing now, but you get the point. But anyways, so, yeah, because, yeah, I mean, like, some of the creative things that are in this, yeah, and you just want to know so much more in this kind of world. As well as, because, like, say, with the Northern Lights that he pointed out, and how these legendary figures, they travel to different places around the world, how the Easter Bunny travels, Santa Claus, and I don't think, he didn't really say anything about the Tooth Fairy, but still, and yes, Sandman's death, yeah, I don't seem to recall, like, if by any chance in the trailers for Rise of the Guardians, because I, of course, remember when this movie was coming out. I can't remember, maybe my parents and we did see this in theaters, maybe we did, but I know, of course, that, got a DVD/Blu-ray copy of it, yeah, so, but as I recall, like, yeah, the trailers and sneak peeks for Rise of the Guardians never, I don't think not once did they, like, spoil anything where at one point in the movie, Sandman dies. But thankfully, if you've seen this movie, you know what happens later on and during the climax. So yeah, and it's a miracle. And some of the jokes that he pointed out. And say what you will about Alec Baldwin, I know, but he is a great actor. He really is, and he's been in a lot of great films, and even, yeah, the ones that Doug pointed out. And yeah, I mean, of course, any great actor like Baldwin being in some stinkers, but I personally disagree on Thomas and the Magic Railroad, and I'm sure you guys would too. Any of you tankies out there like me, Alec Baldwin, fantastic, being one of the narrators for Thomas the Tank Engine, and being one of my first, and I'm sure the same goes for some of you. And I think for Thomas and the Magic Railroad, well, what? I mean, I thought he was excellent at Mr. Conductor. Well, because he had been the narrator, and for him to be on screen as Mr. Conductor, and how, well, Thomas the Tank Engine, it connects with Shining Time Station, and we all know that from, say, Ringo Starr and George Carlin, they were on Shining Time Station as Mr. Conductor, and the fact as well, Thomas the Tank Engine being a part of Shining Time Station, and, well, each Ringo and George being the narrators, you get my point, yeah. Could you imagine if if Shining Time Station had continued on for a little while, and maybe at some point, and when it came to, say, when Alec Baldwin became the narrator for Thomas, could you imagine Alec Baldwin being on Shining Time Station? Well, I'm sure he would have been really good. I have no doubt about it. So, yeah. And it's nice that, because, like with Shining Time Station, the wardrobe that each Ringo, and most notably George Carlin, wear, the same, like, conductor wardrobe that that Alec Baldwin would wear as the character of Mr. Conductor in The Magic Railroad. So yeah, and Alec Baldwin, because more on him, because he had been in a couple of other DreamWorks animated films. This, of course, Rise of the Guardians. But let's not forget, like, say, his voice performance as the main antagonist. He technically was, but thankfully, like, he wasn't, like, up at the level of, say, Scar. You know who I'm talking about. I can't remember his name, but, the lion jerk from Madagascar escaped to Africa, as well as being the voice of the main antagonist, I'm sorry, the titled character, not antagonist, the titled character, Boss Baby. Yeah, that's him, of course. I'm sure you guys know that too. Well, you know, because Alec Baldwin, you know, especially because doing, you know, really good at being in some family-friendly films and such. Well, especially since, you know, God, with how many kids he's got. So, yeah, no doubt about it. And like I just said, you know, really good, you know, in being some family-friendly films, like, rather if they be live action or animation, you know, just, yeah, really good. But yeah, and also, yeah, speaking more of DreamWorks and, you know, some actors coming back to do more, Hugh Jackman. Well, because this, Rise of the Guardians being Hugh Jackman's second DreamWorks animated feature film, because, well, the first one, as we all know, not just with DreamWorks, but with Aardman as well, yeah. At the time when Aardman and DreamWorks, you know, collaborated and had a, you know, a partnership that sadly came to an end right after Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit and Flushed Away, yeah. So Flushed Away being Hugh Jackman's first. Yeah, because, yeah, because I think that's about it, because, yeah, because it's Baldwin and Jackman that had done a couple of other DreamWorks animated films. Isla Fisher, but I do recall that Doug in his review of Scooby-Doo, the movie, calling her Elsa Fisher, or so. I think it is Isla Fisher, I'm pretty sure, like, and if you guys know this, yeah, I recall that my mom even knows how her first name is pronounced, but yeah. Well, her being the voice of the Tooth Fairy, but also, her, you know, her ex-husband, Sacha Baron Cohen, well, we know what he's been a part of in the world of DreamWorks animation. King Julian? Yeah, so of course. How can you forget? Yeah, and Chris Pine, I don't recall, I think, yeah, because I'm pretty sure, yeah, like, yeah. Rise of the Guardians being Chris Pine's first DreamWorks animated film, and the same goes for, well, Jude Law, so, and Isla Fisher, yeah, so. Anyways, and you know, because out of all of the legendary figures, it's been a while since I've seen Rise of the Guardians, so I'm pretty sure that's technically what they're referred to in Rise of the Guardians. Well, no, I mean, because maybe, but, you know, they're of course referred to as the Guardians. Well, the only one, which being Sandman, having no voice. Yeah, so, which, you know, worked very well. The fact that Sandman, being the only character in Rise of the Guardians that does not have a speaking voice, and him being one of those characters where he doesn't need to have a voice, and, you know, his personality and facial expressions work so well. I mean, you know, like, take, for example, other, you know, great muted animated characters like Dopey or Dumbo from Disney, and a bunch of others. Well, and like, say, you know, on the side of Aardman, once again mentioning Aardman, well, Gromit, literally having no voice, so, yeah. And the same kind of goes for the Shaun of the Sheep characters. Granted, yeah, they make noises, and they technically do have voices, but still, like, they don't speak English or anything like that. No, just, again, they're grunting and so on. So, I think you get my point, yeah, but anyways, so, alright, but, yeah, so, let's get back to the video itself. Yeah, so, time back in. Alright.
The lights start going out around the world as more and more kids stop believing, but thankfully, Easter is the following day.
I say we pull out all the stops and we get those little lights flickering again.
Maybe this is an Easter movie. That's why most of it's spent in the North Pole. Yeah, how much of this is in Christmas land? You know what holiday they represent.
Buckle up.
They do, however, go to the Easter Bunny's lair, but discover the sister of the boy from earlier snuck in.
I've got something for you. Look at all the pretty teeth. There's little blood and gum on them.
Yeah, I take it back. Maybe she is my favorite character. They just kind of
She
shrug and
is.
say, I don't know, I guess we can Monster Inc. this up, and they let her stay.
I think it's time to get
That's
her
because Jack Frost, like,
I take her home?
Been make all the
made
eggs
his
tuck her
personality in
around,
with a
Jack says he can
snowflake,
take her back.
if you remember.
If kids can't see or touch him, how would she react to this? Ah! I'm possessed! Make it stop, Mommy! Make it stop!
That voice, I
But
know
she's
that
already a
voice.
Jack hears someone calling
conked
his name and
out,
is lured into
right?
the lair of the boogeyman.
Looking for something. Everything I've done for you.
Oh my god.
Do you want them, Jack?
Yeah, it kind of makes
It's
sense.
just as whoopee as fanfiction.net would suggest.
You make a mess wherever you go.
Okay.
While you're doing it right now.
He figures out he's being distracted while all the eggs being sent out are destroyed.
Where did you get that?
You were with bitch.
We are all hearing the same word, right? It sounds like he was distracted by a one-night stand.
You were with bitch. Bitch dependency has no.
Okay, yeah, as I recall, they're not
He has to go.
really
Mysteries.
saying bitch.
New beginnings. New life.
Third act breakups, moping and doping, Owen Wilson stopping someone from marrying a snob.
Forget it, Jamie. There's just no Easter this year.
Jesus is a lie. Now let's go back to our snow-filled April.
I never really believed in you.
The boogeyman sees Jack's been cast out and offers him an olive branch.
We don't have to be alone, Jack. Look at what we can do. What goes together better than cold and dark?
I'm British, you're sad, we're both hot. In 2012, we are Tumblr's wet dream.
Last time.
Oh
leave me
god.
alone.
Jack turns him down, but he threatens to kill off one of the fairies if he doesn't hand over the staff, which is one of the few things that can actually hurt him. And I love the way he responds to this.
Now let her go. No.
Let me guess.
Maybe his name is Bitch, because that was the most catty, mean girl's way to say that line. He breaks the staff and throws both the fairy and Jack down a canyon. But at least
I
he
would have
takes a look
expected,
at the
like,
memory, revealing who
to
he
do a
was.
joke where
Jack, I'm
squish
scared.
him, but nah.
He really should have listened to his crazy uncle from Queens.
Be careful.
We will. The ice is gonna break. We're gonna have a little fun instead.
What was that from? The audio clip.
When I trick you, we're gonna play hopscotch.
The music here is very odd because it sounds relaxing and pleasant, but in a strange way, it does make it even more uncomfortable. With Jack trying to keep her calm, making a game out of it, the two very different emotions make for a pretty damn suspenseful moment.
One. Whoa. Two. Three.
Honestly, this scene, I have no notes. This is really well done. Even people who
It
don't like
is.
this movie are like, but that ice-breaking scene, man, yikes.
Can you throw me your skates?
The memory gives him the will to be a guardian again. He magics his staff back together. Okay, not all the world building is great. As literally just
Nah.
one child in the entire world
Didn't
still
bother
believes
me.
him. The little boy from earlier. Boy, kids' imaginations are easier to destroy than I thought. TikTok is causing brain rot.
And if you are real, then you have to prove it. Like, right now. Anything at all.
Hail Satan.
Jack uses his frost powers to write something in the window. 300 years, I never thought of that, huh? Causing the kid to once again believe.
And when he finally
It's not
sees,
about convincing him he's real as
Jack
much as
Frost.
convincing him the Easter Bunny is real. It makes him feel a little more selfless. And fittingly enough, in doing so, he makes the kid believe in him too.
Jack Frost.
That's right. I just remembered Jack Frost comes on TV tonight. No matter which one it is, I'm gonna be scared shitless.
and Rankin Bass did something in Jack Frost, if you know.
The other Guardians also drop by as their powers aren't as strong as they used to be.
That's the Easter Bunny?
Now somebody sees me. I mean, where were you about an hour ago, mate?
They're doing another Tiny Toons reboot? There's no weird brother and sister thing in this. The boogeyman returns, though, and Jack's powers also aren't as strong as they were before.
And even Tress McNeil, she departed from the Tiny
I'm
Toons
scared.
Me
reboot,
too, kid. Protect us.
if you know this.
Actually, that's kind of what happens as Jack remembers what worked before in his previous life, deciding to turn the fight into a game.
Yep.
Admittedly, the scene where they turned chores into playtime for Mary Poppins would have been more effective if they were fighting demonic hellspawn.
Oh
It
god.
doesn't work as well as they hope, though. That voice actor should be proud he just gave the funniest scene in the movie.
Ah.
Can't stand up to the boogeyman.
Yeah, just,
though,
like,
and doing so transforms the
not
nightmares
wanting to
into
get in the middle
pleasant
of it.
dreams. Even the Sandman makes a comeback.
Yes.
I am the goddamn snow miser and heat miser. He spreads more happy dreams
Not
around
really.
the world. Yeah, wait, how is there only one kid left who still believes? She literally saw all of them.
Yes!
Full imagery shows that happy dreams.
Yeah, I didn't quite fully realize that. That's a bit of a goof, is it not?
They do move in Harris.
They even take care of the boogeyman.
Nice one.
A quarter.
Punch.
Hard to comment on that scene, it's just cool.
Uh-huh.
His own fears end up getting the best of him, and Jack finally takes the oath to be a guardian.
Will you, Jack Frost?
Take the hands of millions of lonely fangirls with more collectibles of you than friends.
For you are now a guardian.
It's made official, and the guardians end up leaving, despite the children being afraid they might not come back.
You tell me you stop believing in the moon when the sun comes out. Do you stop believing in the sun when clouds block it out?
I only believe the moon landing was fake, the world is flat, 9/11 was caused by aliens. Maybe right off the podcast.
Aliens?
Final lines don't sound like something a conspiracy.
I did not hear about
would
this
say.
one.
I'm a guardian because the moon told me so. So when the moon tells you something, believe it.
If the moon says you're in the Matrix and only your credit card number can set you free, give it to him. And that was Rise of the Guardians. Honestly, it's about how I remember it. It's still all over the place, sometimes a little dull, and could honestly use a little more color. I actually associate a lot of this movie with being very gray. You can do that in a creatively dark world, but aside from the boogeyman, that's really not the world it's creating.
Maybe
With that said,
in
though,
the end it could have...
far more
but I don't
creative
know.
than I remember. The little touches are great, the acting is decent, I love most of the designs. It just doesn't have the emotional investment I think a lot of great animated films have. Still,
The Easter Bunny was one of
as a
my
follower,
favorites.
There's a lot of
And
things about
Santa.
it that are memorable, and at times it can have some powerful moments, like the ice-breaking scene. It's easy to see why it didn't catch on as something like Shrek did, but it's also easy to see why some people seek it out and enjoy these unique takes on these classic characters. Whether you see it as a Christmas flick or an Easter flick or whatever, you're guaranteed to get something of, okay, not tremendous value, but maybe enough value.
Yeah.
I'm a nostalgia critic guy, remember? So you don't have to.
Until next time, Doug.
You were with bitch.
Again, I've realized now, yeah, they're not
It's Cameo
really
for Charity,
saying
and
the
this
word
month we're doing Toys for
bitch,
Tots.
you know.
So if you want to video me saying
It's just
happy
how the
birthday,
main
Merry
villain's
Christmas,
name is
congrats,
said,
whatever,
and
go ahead and
where
click
it
on
does
the below,
clearly
and
sound
everything to a
like,
good
you know.
cause. With that said, I usually do Toys for Tots.
Okay. Wait a minute, because...
Car pulls up. And
Oh, yeah, because, yeah, the story... Yeah, because they always, you know, play this piece of footage, you know, because of when they were filming the Nostalgia Critic review of Christmas with the Cranks. Yeah, always playing that. So when it comes to Toys for Tots... A finest moment for the Channel Awesome crew, don't you think? And for, you know, them doing Toys for Tots for the charity donations and so on. Yeah. Okay, so that was the Nostalgia Critics review of DreamWorks' Rise of the Guardians. That was a pretty good review. Not bad, and it's understandable, and I get it, yeah, because, yeah, I mean... Rise of the Guardians, it's not really up there being one of the top best DreamWorks animated films, let alone being a DreamWorks animated gem. But I think that, yeah, that in some ways it probably would be like, say, an underrated gem, if you get what I'm saying. Like, you know, it's like how, you know, like, say, Pixar having some underrated gems, like, most notably A Bug's Life. Oh yeah, that one, for sure. Yeah, just from beginning to end, with what Rise of the Guardians had to offer, and with this cast of characters, great voice acting, the animation and the style and look to it, and from the genius mind William Joyce, having some funny and emotional moments, for sure, especially some dark moments, jeez. Yeah, and, you know, some funny moments and jokes that were in his review, just, yeah, pretty funny. And, yeah, like, the obvious ones that didn't even occur to me, like, say, references to Labyrinth and Jurassic Park, yeah, because, you know, but, yeah, honestly, I really can't think of anything else to say, but, yeah, overall, what the Nostalgia Critic had to say Doug Walker, as the nostalgia critic, I should say, reviewing DreamWorks' Rise of the Guardians. Yeah, and again, it's understandable that it may not be one of the top best animated feature films from DreamWorks, but it's not god-awful, of course. No siree, no. It's pretty good. Yeah. Especially because, if you're wanting to, to watch a DreamWorks animated film or something during the holidays, like, rather if it be, like, say, some of those holiday specials that DreamWorks had done, like, say, Shrek, Madagascar, The Bad Guys, and so on, well, you're in luck because, well, DreamWorks having an animated feature film that is holiday-ish. Yeah, so there you go. But, yeah, just overall, the Nostalgia Critic's review of DreamWorks' Rise of the Guardians, a pretty good review. And what about you guys? What did you think of the Nostalgia Critic's review of DreamWorks' Rise of the Guardians itself? Is Rise of the Guardians, by any chance, in your top favorite DreamWorks animated feature films? Any of you that got to experience this when it came out in theaters? Are you familiar with, say, William Joyce's other works and what else he has done and, in the world of animation, and as I brought up early on, what were some of your favorite moments from Rise of the Guardians? And anything that Doug, as the Nostalgia Critic, had to say, if you, stuff that you agree and disagree with, and so on. But overall, I think, because, yeah, again, this was a pretty good and, positive, honest review on what he had to say on Rise of the Guardians, yeah. But, just, yeah, overall, what do you think of the Nostalgia Critic video itself, and with what I've had to say, my reaction, and, yeah, what did you think of my reaction? Leave comments and give this reaction video a like, as always. And so, with all that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my reaction to the Nostalgia Critic's review of DreamWorks' Rise of the Guardians. More reaction videos are coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video / reaction. Take care, and until next year, reviewing more Nostalgia Critic content. Peace out, Merry Christmas, and, yep, Happy Holidays and Happy New Year to all of you.